to speak. I think that's wonderful. So now it's time for our speaker spot. And today, our speaker spark's topic is Transcendence or Becoming Full Circle with Derek Marshall. Yay. Now, who is this guy anyway? This guy anyway. He showed up one day and we thought, whoa. There is an energy. I'm going to talk about his bio, but I just want to mention him for a minute. There's an energy that Derek carries and exudes out there to all of us that is so caring and so loving. And I know some of us said, is he an angel? Because at probably I had a very vulnerable time when I was here one Sunday, and he came up to me after in the home and he looked at me and he said, I care about you. You're going to be okay. And I love you. And he hugged me. And it's been spread around, and more people are saying, there's something about this guy. And so, and he's a quiet presence here at Circle. So I'm grateful for you. And who is this guy anyway, right? So he is a singer-songwriter, in case you didn't know, right? He's an actor from Doylestown, Pennsylvania. And he grew up attending Pebble Hill Church and has lived a life that has seen 25 countries and 4 continents. Now, he's not an old fella. And he's always sought out a higher reality and experience. So today he's going to just share with you about his spiritual journey and important events from growing up in a New Age community with his mom. There she is. So let's give a warm welcome to Derek.
Well, I think everybody here is special. I don't want to be singled out. So I guess I'll start. Our prologue begins in 1981. My mother is a college student in Philadelphia, and she has a near-death experience. She dies in her apartment on near Broad Street. She leaves her body and can see all of Philadelphia. She's caught up into a tunnel of light. She goes to heaven. She experiences God. That's the best way she could put it. And met Jesus Christ. And when given the choice to either stay in heaven or go back, she was shown an image of my grandparents through whatever they have in heaven that does that. And she chose to come back. And then 11 years later, in 2000 years, in 2008, in 2 days after the birth of Christ in Bethlehem, PA, I was born. So that's the beginning of so that's the before part. So around the age of 5 or 6, my mom told me about her near-death experience. And you might think, well, how would a kid understand, what God is, or what nearly like dying and going to heaven is, and meeting Jesus and all that stuff? You think, well, it'd be way over your head. How does anybody comprehend such a thing? But she told it to me, and intuitively, I just knew this is true. This is reality. And I think as I've gone through my life, I realized it's a part of me. It's something that's in my DNA. I think when she was, I call it resurrection energy lately, when she was, whatever you want to call it, reborn, something was inside her that when I was born, it carried through to me. And I feel like it's given me a higher understanding of spirituality. And, it's taken a long time to get there, but it's always been there latently. And, it's something that I can't live without. And I'm glad that she had that experience, because it changed my life. And she said, she talks to God, and he says, just tell one person, and that's all you have to do. You've already told one person, you've done everything. If you do nothing for the rest of your life, you've already done the most important thing. And she told me, and I intend to take my spirituality of love and goodness and bring it out to the whole world. So, so as the years go by, I grew up in Pebble Hill, kind of, you know, it's a hippie community we would attend, but I was also going to CCD at the same time. So you kind of got a little, you know, very different aspects. And I was good at CCD, but I couldn't stand it. It was just, I had to get up early. It was annoying. And for like, as my teen years grew, like I would go to CCD in the morning really early. And then my mom would go to drop me off, go to Pebble Hill, then midway through Pebble Hill, come and pick me up and then take me back to Pebble Hill for the end of it. And it just became, I was kind of lost in two worlds. And, you know, I was good at CCD. I understood the concepts, but it was annoying to have to get up at 9:30 on a Sunday when you're a kid or a teenager. And so, you know, it just became this caught in two worlds thing. And finally CCD ended. We started going to Pebble Hill more often, and we still would go to Czestochowa and Catholic Church. I really like Czestochowa because it's more spirit. Like the one in town was not, I didn't get anything from it, but you can feel something in Czestochowa, like you can feel kind of here.
Yeah.
And so the years go by and I'm 17 years old and I have the most important moment of my entire life. Well, one of them. And I call it my rebirth day. It was September 18th, 2010. And at that moment, you know, I was actually going up a hill called Morgan Hill in Easton. And that song, Salisbury Hill by Peter Gabriel, was playing as I was going up the hill. And it's a transcendent experience for me because my best friend Rick Brown, who transcended this reality, he died back in 2020. His favorite word is transcendence, and that's the only way I can describe it. And the way I've told people when they ask me about it over time, when I mention it, I call it my rebirth day, and I celebrate it every year since 2010. You know, I kind of set a little time aside to do it, but nothing out of the ordinary happened. But out of the ordinary came the extraordinary. That's how I describe my rebirth day. And that's from that moment on, for the next 2 or 3 years, I can remember every day of my life. I can remember times, hours, dates, what I was doing, who I was talking to. I had total recall for about 2.5 years. And, you know, it was really just, you know, such an important date. And I mean, I don't really know how to describe it other than I call it the day I learned to appreciate life. It's either my rebirth day and or the day I learned to appreciate life. So 2 years later in 2012, I was 19 years old, and I kind of was looking for something in my mom's room, and kind of like Bilbo Baggins finding the one ring in the mine or whatever, I found a book standing on a bunch of clothes called Conversations with God. And that really affected me because it kind of gave me a frame of reference that it spoke to me in a way that I said, okay, most of this to me makes sense. It's something that, you know, it's the concepts seem kind of out there, but if you really think about it, he even says in the book, can you imagine a better way to live? And I couldn't. And, you know, well, as times go by, I can, because my awareness has expanded about life. But that brings me 6 months later to the first miracle I ever experienced. I was with my family in Spain. We were going from Toledo to Malaga. I think it's about, I could be completely wrong, about a 6-hour drive from basically the center of Spain down to the coast of Malaga. We stop at a rest stop, and I have a Johnny Walker and Coke, and we're celebrating. Everybody's happy. My cousins are like doing the disco dancing, like techno playing, and my uncle's driving us. And we get my grandmother gets bumped into when she's going to the bathroom in the rest stop, and a little shaken up, but we were okay. And then we all get in the car. We're driving, and about 45 minutes from Malaga, we get a call from the other car. The boys are in one car, the girls in the other. My grandmother's wallet is missing, and in that wallet was 500 euros, her credit cards, and her passport. So my mom's panicking, obviously, and everybody's worried. But in that immediate moment, I kind of took the lessons I learned from conversations with God, and I said, I have absolute faith, God, that we're going to find this wallet no matter what. Done. It's over. And I stayed in that mindset. But we drive and we get to Malaga. We go into the Hotel Las Vegas, and Hotel California is across the street. But if you check in there, you can never leave. So we stayed at Hotel Las Vegas for it. And so we get in there and we just like dump all the clothes. Everybody's looking everywhere. There's no hope. Everybody's dumped everything. We've looked throughout all the cars. Every suitcase has been torn apart, looked through. They're all like, okay, guys, we're done. We've done everything we can. Let's just call it a night. We'll try looking in the morning. I said, no, absolutely not. I have absolute faith we're going to find this. Look, keep looking. Everybody's looking like, and then my cousin, who was like 11 or 12, pulls out of his pocket a napkin. It just has some like a truck stop's name on it, and it does have a phone number for whatever reason. I don't know why a truck stop would put a phone number on a napkin. And they said, okay, we'll go to the front desk. And by this time, it's 4 a.m. Everybody's dead tired, and we've been searching for about an hour. And they call, and they say, yes, we have a wallet. And then my aunt, uncle, and my grandmother go up the 3 hours of this truck stop in the middle of nowhere in Spain. The 500 euros, the credit cards, and the passport are all in there, and they make their way back. I think the odds of that happening for me are 1 in a trillion, because I mean, if you really think about it, losing a wallet in the middle of the night in Spain at a truck stop, how's it going to be left over? But it was, and I felt like that was kind of faith reassured. So then about 6 months after that happened, I kind of entered a spiritual dark age, and I kind of renounced all spirituality and religion for a good long time. And, you know, I still was, you know, as time went on, I kind of got interested in a little bit of Hinduism and Buddhism and Jainism. I was exploring all the world's religions, but on December 2nd, 2017, I gave my life to Jesus Christ. And that was a decision that is absolute, final, and eternal. However, I felt that my fundamentalist proclivities, or, you know, my tendencies to be completely fundamentalist about things, were detrimental and unhealthy. There had to be another way. And I think you can know what I'm. So I kind of, you know, was dealing with this, and then, you know, I met Michael Camus, and it was September of 2022, and I call it my near life experience. And that's where I had something where my consciousness shifted and my reality changed. And I have not been the same since that day that he and I met at Pebble Hill Church, of all places. And it changed my life, and it made me feel whole, happy. I didn't have any of these things that were detrimental. My spirituality became more pure. He invited me to come to Circle, and that's how I met a lot of you. And I think all of you are very valuable. Every single person that comes here is valuable, and you matter. And I'm glad that you're all here. And that's how I came full circle. So that's my autobiography of a yogi portion of the thing. So, you know, I do want to talk. I like to make it a little more interactive. So I guess we'll have the Q&A part afterward. But I want to talk about some things that kind of interest me about what I've noticed, and also what I've learned in my spiritual journey. I do think that it's kind of odd that besides a couple of people here, there's literally no young people at either on Zoom, really, that I know of, or in Circle. And I don't care. I'm happy with everybody here. But I think I do have questions about, is my generation kind of spiritually lost? And why are they not? Like, I've been to a lot of churches when I was on my search before I came here, and I would never see young people. I mean, I could understand maybe why they wouldn't want to go to a Christian church, but I don't understand why there aren't young people here. To me, it doesn't make any sense. And let me know when I'm out of time too.
Oh, I'm not even.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll look.
But so that could be something, if we want to have a discussion, what your thoughts on that are. Why are young people not in spiritual communities? I mean, how hard is it? They all have technology. I'm in the technological stone age myself, but there's people that are on Zoom that, you know, young people could easily hop on Zoom and check this out, or come here, or whatever. And I think it's strange. Another thing that I've been thinking about lately is realizing a different way of looking at humanity is look at every human being as if they are God. Now, that may sound either very highly, you already know what I'm talking about, or it might sound completely crazy, depending on what you're thinking, your thought processes. But if you think about every human being as being God, how would you look at God? You would look at them with love and respect, and you would think the highest thoughts about God. And what if you looked at every human being you encountered every day of your life as God? And like at the grocery store, even people that are rude to you could say, "Oh, they're a malevolent God." You know, what if you looked at people and thought, "I love you, I respect you, and I care about you, no matter who or what you are, you know, externally." But what if I saw the God in you at every moment of my life? Now think about that. If everybody did that on Earth, we'd live in a total utopia, because there would be no competition. If we were all one, then how can you divide that? You can't divide one. One divided by one is one. So it's this thing that I'm trying to implement it myself, and it's hard because, you know, we're so caught up in our egos and our problems with this and that. I got, you get caught up in the whole illusion of things, but just look at people with love. That is the most important thing. And kind of what I said in my spiritual seed a few months ago, or whenever that was, the meaning of life to me is love. And in the Bible, it says God is love. And so whatever way you want to incorporate it, if you realize the meaning of life is love, then the meaning of life is God, the highest reality. So that means that love is the highest reality. That means love is the highest power, the highest thought, and the highest knowledge, the highest good. It is everywhere. So love, if we really genuinely devoted ourselves to living in love on a daily basis, think about how much your reality would change and the reality of people around you, people at work, people in the street, your family, your friends, everything. If you literally, truly thought in love, spoke in love, and acted in love, and were being love at all times, you'd win the whole game of life. The game's pretty much over at that point. So I guess I'll leave it at that.